L. Patten, alias ATM Ty Patten. This morning, Ty will attempt to convey a dark side of his Vietnam combat experience heretofore never expressed. With his speech titled, "All gave some gave all, and others still continue to give and give and give." Help me welcome ATM Ty Patten.
How many of us in this room have heard this phrase, war is hell? Yeah, a good many of us. I'm here this morning to dispel that. Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. That infers that that's something that you can get past, that you can put it in your past. And for anyone who has been in combat, boots on the ground, in the killing field, and have actually drawn a bead on someone that you've never seen before with the intent of taking their life. You don't get past that. The suicide rate among veterans of all wars is 150% of that of the general population of the United States. Why? Is it because they're just psychologically impaired? Is it because of the horrors that they relive time and time again? I can tell you, as Corporal T.L. Patten, 1st Marines, U.S. Marine 1st Battalion, Charlie Company tanks, on beautiful tour in Vietnam, I saw things that I never would have had nightmares about prior to. You see, how many of us have been to Nuccitelli's open casket memorial service? A few of us. And I would venture to say that there's not a one of us that seeing Nuccitelli lie there in that casket has ever brought about a bad dream, let alone a nightmare or a reoccurring nightmare. It's not death that is so horrific. It's the way that humans die. You know, in Vietnam, I was smoked at the time, and we would drink and we would laugh and have a good time. And days later, maybe hours later, we'd get hit with the barrage of mortar. These same people that you were just laughing and joking with, just hours before. Not only were they dead, but it was the way they died. When you talk about incoming mortar barrages, they don't just take a single round to your head or in a vital part where you die pretty quickly. No. It's horrific. You've seen some of the veterans. They've had dismemberment, some of them missing an arm, a leg. Part of it's been left on the battlefield. You know, you think about how when you're in combat, it's a horrific thing. We were brought up to think you honor life, you respect one another. And then you go into the military, and the Marine Corps will teach you dozens of ways of taking life. And they teach you that you need to react because you haven't got time to think. No. And I also want to tell you about this gentleman right here. You see, U.S. veterans aren't the only ones that have PTSD. We aren't the only ones who die for our country. This was a Viet Cong. And I'm going to read something from this book. Offerings at the Wall. It's replete with all sorts of memorabilia that was left at the Vietnam Wall. And this one popped out at me. It's this guy's picture. I blew it up here. And the Marine, the note that he left with it. Dear sir, for 22 years I carried your picture in my wallet. I was only 18 years old the day we faced each other on the trail at Chu Lai, Vietnam. Why you didn't take my life, I do not know. You stared at me for so long, armed with your AK-47, and yet you did not fire. Forgive me for taking your life. I was reacting just the way I was trained. The kill, VC. So many times over the years, I've stared at your picture and your daughter, I suspect. Each time my heart and guts would burn with the pain of guilt. I have 2 daughters of my own. I perceive you to be a brave soldier defending your homeland. Above all else, I can now respect the importance that life held for you, and I suppose that is why I am here today. It is time for me to continue the life process and release my pain and my guilt. Forgive me, sir. I ask you, how many of you carry pictures of people that you have killed for 22 years? No, I take that back. I don't want to hear. Because if you do, you need some psychological help. Okay? And it's not coming from me, I'll tell you that. But we carry pictures of our loved ones. Our spouse, our children, our parents, our pets. The things that we love in life, we cherish. Nightmares. They come from who knows where. It might be weekly, monthly, might be every 10 years. I can tell you, in 22 years of carrying that dead VC's picture in his pocket, he had nightmares, and they come up when you least expect it, and he just drag you right back to that moment. And if you're sound asleep in the middle of the night, you wake up in a cold sweat. No! Because you're there in that moment. Fellow Toastmasters, just remember, if you know someone that's been on the killing fields, some did give all, and others just keep giving and giving and giving. Fellow Toastmasters,